Look like Team USA is forcing Caitlin Clark to change her infamous 22 number to a new one. Guys, for this one here,
Caitlin Clark allegedly told Team USA she is done if they won't let her wear her iconic number 22, and Sue Bird's reaction has the basketball world completely shocked. The managing director of Team USA is scrambling to control the damage, but the situation is spiraling fast. This might be the biggest crisis women's basketball has faced in years. Before we get into Sue Bird's reaction and what Caitlin allegedly said behind closed doors, tell me in the comments, if you were Caitlin, would you quit Team USA over a number? Because what is happening right now could change the future of USA basketball forever.
Because we ultimately know she was snubbed from the cover of Team USA, and not only is they snubbing her, the disrespect is continuing because it's looking like Team USA is forcing Caitlin Clark to change her number. Now, this article has come out.
All right, so Team USA basketball just created the biggest crisis in women's basketball, and they did it to themselves. They forced Caitlin Clark, the undisputed face of the sport right now, to give up her iconic number 22 for their December training camp. And according to sources close to the situation, Caitlin's response was basically, if I can't wear my number, I'm not coming. And now Sue Bird, the managing director of Team USA, is reportedly losing her mind trying to figure out how the situation got so out of control. Let's be crystal clear about something. This isn't just a simple number change. This is being seen as a blatant, calculated act of disrespect toward the star who single-handedly brought millions of new eyes to women's basketball. We are talking about the player whose name is bigger than the sport itself right now. Being told that her most recognizable symbol must be left behind, it is a move that has fans, analysts, and everyone in between questioning whether Team USA actually understands what they have in Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not a very creative person. I was born on January 22nd, so it's what I went with when I was about 5 years old, so.
So the bombshell dropped just ahead of Team USA's critical training camp in North Carolina, scheduled from December 12th through the 14th. This camp was supposed to be a celebration, a showcase of the absolute best talent in the world, featuring stars like Paige Bueckers, Juju Watkins, and others. Instead, it instantly became the stage for this unprecedented and frankly bizarre controversy that might result in the biggest name in basketball refusing to participate. Reports started surfacing, revealing the shocking mandate that would effectively strip Clark of the number that has become completely synonymous with her record-shattering college career and her dominant WNBA performances. The timing of this decision makes it even more baffling. It comes just as her fame is exploding on a global scale, which only amplifies the outrage felt by her dedicated and rapidly growing supporters. And now those supporters are encouraging Caitlin to stand her ground and refuse to compromise on something so fundamental to her brand.
The case to be made that Indiana Fever star Caitlin Clark, number 22, is the most recognizable number in women's sports right now. There is no argument to be made. There's no case to be made. Caitlin Clark, number 22, is the most recognizable number for any woman athlete in the world.
Make absolutely no mistake about it. Caitlin Clark's number 22 is not just some random jersey number. It is, without a single shred of doubt, the single most recognizable number in all of women's sports right now. Period. There is no valid argument that can be made against this undeniable fact. From her mind-blowing performances at the University of Iowa to her explosive WNBA career with the Indiana Fever, the number 22 has become a completely inseparable part of her identity. It is a beacon, a symbol that fans instantly recognize from the nosebleed seats in arenas and on television screens around the world. To the millions of people who follow her, it is not just a number on a jersey, it is a legacy being built in real time. Her entire brand, the compelling narrative of her journey, and her incredible story are all intrinsically and powerfully linked to that number. It embodies the audacious long-range three-pointers, the almost psychic court vision, and the sheer unyielding will to win that has captivated a massive audience stretching far beyond the traditional basketball fan base.
Clark to wear number 17 at Team USA training camp on December 24th. News broke that Caitlin Clark will be taking a part in the training, which that's what we talked about at the beginning of the video. Now, this right here this came out this came out on the 24th. So these are the numbers, man. Let's head on over to Twitter and check this out real quick. So this is what was released right here. It says Lauren Betts. Hold on. Here's the ages. Where's the number? Here we go. Right here. So these are the numbers. Caitlin Clark. Let me blow this all the way up, man. I want to blow this all the way up so y'all can see this. So as y'all can see here, man, how did Caitlin Clark number will be changed? So who's wearing 22? Or if you guys remember, Michael Jordan wore number 45 in the Olympics. Could Caitlin, because it don't look like no one's wearing number 22. It don't look like no one's wearing number 22.
It don't look like no one's wearing number 22. She has literally become synonymous with the number 22 in the exact same way that Michael Jordan is forever linked with 23 or Wayne Gretzky with 99. To demand a change at this point in her career feels like a deliberate attempt to dilute that incredibly powerful connection she has built. A perplexing and head-scratching move that leaves absolutely everyone wondering what could possibly be the motivation. Unless, of course, the motivation is exactly what it looks like, asserting control over a player who has become bigger than the organization itself. And here is what makes this even more frustrating for Caitlin's fans. This is not the first time that USA Basketball has seemingly undervalued her unprecedented influence on the game. Remember earlier this year when she was conspicuously, almost shockingly snubbed from the Olympic roster. That glaring omission baffled onlookers, especially given her undeniable global appeal and the massive television viewership numbers she consistently commands. This emerging pattern of either overlooking or actively undermining her rising star status continues to fuel intense speculation that there is a deeper, more complicated agenda at play here. Perhaps a resistance within the organization to fully embracing the revolutionary game changer that she so clearly represents. Because when you look at the facts, none of this makes sense unless you consider that Team USA might be threatened by just how powerful Caitlin has become. So what number were they trying to force her to wear? The official word is that Caitlin Clark would be wearing number 17 for the upcoming USA training camp. 17. Now, while it is just an arbitrary number on its own, its real significance lies in the fact that it is absolutely not number 2. This forced alteration, especially when you consider the immense brand recognition she brings to the table, sparks a whole array of questions. You have to ask, is this a deliberate attempt by the organization to assert its control, to show who is boss, or is it simply a tone-deaf, out-of-touch decision that completely fails to grasp the cultural impact of her established brand? Either way you slice it, the message being sent to Clark feels uncomfortably clear. We are in charge, and your popularity doesn't give you special treatment. And according to reports, Caitlin's response was essentially, then I don't need to be here. What makes this entire situation even more infuriating for Caitlin's supporters is the stunning revelation that no one, and I mean absolutely no one, on the USA Basketball training camp roster will be wearing number 22. Let that sink in for a sec. It is not like the number was already claimed by a long-standing veteran player or a highly respected star with an unbreakable claim to it. The number is simply being left empty, unused, and available. This single detail completely transforms the incident. It goes from being a potential roster conflict or a simple logistical issue into what feels like an overt, undeniable act of perceived marginalization against the most impactful and popular player of her generation. If nobody else is wearing the number, why force Caitlin to change? The logic doesn't exist. The justification falls apart completely, and that is exactly why Caitlin allegedly drew her line in the sand. And now, Sue Bird is dealing with the consequences of this decision. As the managing director of Team USA Basketball, Sue is responsible for building the program's future. She handpicked players for this training camp. She is supposed to be cultivating the next generation of American basketball dominance. But instead, she is dealing with a crisis entirely of Team USA's own making. Because forcing your biggest star to compromise on something so fundamental to her identity was always going to blow up in their faces. Sue Bird's reported reaction has been described as everything from frustrated to panic. Sources suggest she has been working behind the scenes trying to find a solution that keeps Caitlin in the fold, while also not completely undermining whatever arbitrary policy led to this mess in the first place. But here is the problem. Caitlin holds all the cards in this situation. She doesn't need Team USA. Team USA desperately needs her. Think about it. Caitlin is already a champion. She has already broken records. She has already changed the sport forever. She is already the most marketable player in women's basketball. What does she actually gain from playing for Team USA if they are going to disrespect her brand in the process? The Olympic glory? She can live without it. The international experience? She has already proven herself at every level. The honor of representing her country? That honor loses its shine when the country's basketball federation treats you like you are replaceable. Meanwhile, what does Team USA lose if Caitlin refuses to play? Everything. They lose their biggest draw. They lose the player who brings mainstream attention to women's basketball. They lose the athlete who fills arenas and spikes television ratings. They lose the face of the next generation. Sue Bird knows this. That is why she is reportedly losing it behind the scenes, because this situation exposes just how little leverage Team USA actually has. This specific controversy also serves as a stark reminder of the broader disrespect that women in sports, particularly in the WNBA, so often have to face. It ties directly into the ongoing struggles for equitable pay, for better working conditions, and for increased recognition for their incredible athletic accomplishment. Think about it. When the most visible and popular star in the entire sport is treated this way, it sends a negative ripple effect throughout the entire league. It echoes the long-standing frustrations and highlights the deep-rooted systemic issues that still plague women's basketball, even despite its recent and incredible surge in popularity. The ongoing tense discussions around the WNBA's collective bargaining agreement and the very real threat of a lockout only underscore these deep-seated problems. The players are becoming increasingly vocal about feeling profoundly undervalued by team owners and governing bodies, citing a stark contrast between their immense contributions to the sport's growth and the respect and compensation they actually receive. So this number change is not just an isolated incident, it is another data point in a much larger narrative of perceived disregard for the true worth of female athletes. The players are tired of the constant exhausting battles for basic respect. And when Caitlin Clark, the biggest name in the sport, allegedly says enough is enough, it sends a powerful message to every other player watching. You don't have to accept disrespect just because it comes from a prestigious organization. Now, it is true that Caitlin isn't the only player who wears number 22. Aja Wilson, a phenomenal talent and respected veteran, also wears it, as do other great players like Cameron Brink. This fact has historically sparked conversations about how such high-profile players might share the number, especially in all-star game scenarios. But here is the key difference. The discussion always revolved around who would graciously defer in a situation where both players were present, never about stripping one of the game's biggest names of her signature number without any legitimate conflict. The previous year, this potential number conflict between Clark and Wilson for an all-star spot was conveniently circumvented when Clark didn't play due to injury. This meant the hypothetical situation of them sharing or deciding on the number never fully materialized. Now it appears USA Basketball preemptively decided to solve a problem that doesn't actually exist, pushing Clark into a new number without any apparent need for such a drastic and controversial measure. And they are learning the hard way that Caitlin isn't interested in accepting unnecessary compromises. Then the official roster list for the USA Basketball training camp finally dropped, providing concrete evidence of the number swap. And there it was, plain as day. Caitlin Clark listed with number 17. So, there it is. Team USA forced Caitlin Clark to change her number. She allegedly threatened to quit, and now Sue Bird is scrambling to fix this mess. What do you think Caitlin should do? Walk away or compromise? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, smash that like button, and subscribe for more basketball drama. This story isn't over yet. See you next time.